So we will be discussing about the Indian geography. Okay. And in that we will be talking about the 9th standard and 11th standard. Okay. So Indian geography has always been very important from exams perspective, because most of the time questions have been asked. So the physiography of India is important from exams perspective. Okay. So split the screen. Okay. So I will split it. Is it visible now? Can you see? Just put a message. So I will continue. Okay. So as I have told you that we will be talking about the Indian geography, right? In Indian geography, yeah, I will talk to you after the lecture. So I will continue my lecture and then we'll talk at the end. Okay. So in Indian geography, we will be talking about the physiography. Okay. Physiography of India. So this is what we are going to study. And we will be referring to the 9th standard plus 11th standard NCERT. Okay. So without wasting much time, let us start. So in the first paragraph, they have talked about the relief features of India. Okay, they have talked about the topography. It is the terrain or relief. So the word like terrain or relief or topography are almost similar. Okay. So they have talked about that, and they have given 6 divisions. Okay. So they have talked about the 6 divisions. So I will take. Okay. So I will copy it here. And I will paste. And to show that what we are going to study. Right? This is what we are going to talking about. Okay. So we will be talking about this first, the Himalayan mountains. So we will be talking about 3 sections in Himalayan mountains. So you know that. What are they? The 3 ranges, that is Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik. So we'll be talking about that. Then we will talking about the plains also. Okay. The first thing is here mountain. Then we will talking about the plains, then plateaus, then deserts, and then coastal plains, and then islands. So we are just talking from Indian perspective, from Indian geography perspective. Okay. So the mountains of India, plains of India, plateau of India, desert of India, and islands of India will be covered. So we will just start discussing about the first point, that is Himalayan mountains. Okay. So now I will start writing about the Himalayan mountains. So first thing is Himalayan mountains. Okay. And as I have said to you, we will be discussing about that. The first point we need to cover is this. Himadri. So we'll be talking about the Himadri ranges. Okay. And in Himadri, we'll be talking about the height, width, okay, about the height plus width. So understand and remember that height of Himadri. Firstly, I will draw a diagram. Let us say this is the arc of Himalayas. Okay. So I need to draw such diagrams. So the first is Himadri, second is Himachal, third is what? Third is Shivalik. So these three ranges, these three mountain ranges we are studying. Okay. Are you getting it? So this is how our Himalayas look like. Okay. So I'm just talking about the Himadri first. And in Himadri, as I have mentioned, the height of Himadri is almost 6,000 meters. What is the height? 6,000 meters. Remember, this is the average height of this Himalayas. Himadri is also called as inner Himalayas, okay? Because this is, for example, this is our eye and we are looking from this here. So this is the inner to us. This is the middle. This is inner Himalayas. These are middle and these are outer. Okay. So this can also be called as great, lesser, and outer or Shivalik. This is Himadri. This is Himachal. Okay. And these are what? Shivalik. So remember that. So we are just talking about the first range. This range. Okay. So I have talked about the height. The average height of Himadri mountain ranges is about 6,000 meters. The width ranges from 400 kilometer to 150 kilometer. That is the width. Okay. This is the height and these are the, or this is the width. So width is 150 to 400 kilometer and this is 6,000 meter. Okay. So I will read it for you from the book itself and we will move ahead. So look at the screen. Here we are talking about Himadri. Okay. So the northernmost range of the great or inner Himalayas are known as Himadri is the most continuous range. Okay, there are no passes. So it is continuous. Like when we will study about the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats of India. So I will then tell you that the Western Ghats are continuous ranges and the Eastern Ghats are the discontinuous ranges because of the Krishna River, Godavari River, etc. So I have talked about the Himadri. Okay. It is most continuous range with the average height of 400 meters. So that is that I was talking. Look at this diagram. This is where all the ranges of Himalaya are located. You can see and you can sense. Look for a couple of seconds on the Himalayas, the diagram of the Himalaya on your screen. You can see certain ranges. Here you have Jaskar range and Pir Panjal range, and these are Shivalik. And okay, it will cover, revise and go fast. Okay. Then the second point is that I will take it fast because I have got the message that we have covered. So we'll continue and try to be a bit faster and will not explain much. So now the second point is Himachal. The Himachal covers the area in between the Shivalik and the inner ranges or the great ranges or the Himadri. So Himachal lies between the Himadri and Shivalik. So you have hill stations. The question can be asked, the hill stations are located in which ranges of the Himalayas? So in Himachal, you have various hill ranges or stations, and you have Kangra Valley, Kulu Valley, etc. The third is the Shivalik. Shivalik is the last range. Okay. And Shivalik they do contain dunes. Okay. This is the definition of dune. Okay. So the question can be asked, what are dunes? So the dunes are the longitudinal valleys lying between lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks. So any valley which is lying between the Himachal and Shivalik. So these valleys are called as what? Dunes. Okay, these are the dunes. Remember, the question can be asked, and I think this question will be asked in exam. So I will cut it from here. I will copy and will paste here so that you can take the screenshot, or you can write, or you can highlight in your book. Okay, and I'm suggesting you that this question can be asked, that the longitudinal valleys lying between lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks are known as dunes. Okay, this question will be asked because UPSC do have habit of asking questions like this. And you know about what? Punjab Himalayas and Kumang Himalayas, etc. Okay, so I will skip that part because you know that, as you told me that it has already been covered. So in northern plains, we'll start plains. Okay, so northern plains actually contains three main rivers: Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. So these three rivers are the main rivers in the plain. Okay, so you know that for us and in any country, when you have a lot of plain area, so human settlements are more. Human settlements are more because more and more people tend to settle on the plain areas. Last year, CDS 2023 GK is for 100 marks there, and English is for 100 marks. So they had asked one question that along the lake, lake. So this is how lake looks like, right? So along the lake, what kind of human settlements do you have? So you have circular settlements because people tend to build house around the lake, right? And along the river, you have linear settlements. So people tend to settle like this here. Sorry, I need to draw here like this and this. So people will settle here along the river bed. This is the river. So this type of questions are also asked in the human geography. You need to understand the context of the question, that what kind of settlements are possible along the river, along the lake, right? Along the coastal area. Okay. So let us start discussing about the three rivers first, like Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. So you know that the plains are generally formed with the help of what? the alluvial soil brought by the rivers. You know, let us say you have the river Ganga flowing from Himalayas. So it will flow and it will bring with it the sediments. So these sediments are of two types, the Khadar and Bhangar, right? So Khadar is the old and Bhangar is the new. This is correct or wrong? Tell me. Whatever I have written, that Khadar is the old soil and Bhangar is the new soil. Whether this statement of mine is correct or wrong, tell me. Put the message in the chat box. You know about this, right? That I have taught you. Khadar, Bhangar, Kankar, right? So tell me, you have two types of soils, right? Old alluvial soil. I am talking about alluvial because I do have reference of alluvial soil right here. Here you have the mention of alluvial soil. So that's why I'm talking. So alluvial soil is of two types, old and new. So old is called what and new is what? Tell me. I can show you that this has already been taught because you can see here. Old is Bhagar. Old is Bhangar. And new is Khadar. Okay. Right. So this type of structure. Here you have the Khadar. And this is, I know. And this is, here you have Bhangar. Okay, I will draw it completely. This is the river bed. From here, river is flowing. So this is Khadar. This is Bhangar. Correct? Or again wrong? Tell me. What happened? Someone is messaging. Okay. I will show the answer. Look. Look at this passage. The rivers descending from the mountain deposit pebbles. These are known Bhabar. Okay. And then all the streams disappear in this belt called as Bhabar belt. South of this, the streams and the rivers re-emerge, which is called as Tarai. Right? And the forest, you know about this. And now I think Dudhwa National Forest, I will give a question to you. So you need to locate where Dudhwa National Forest or Dudhwa National Park is there. Okay. Tell me where this national park or Dudhwa National Park. National Park is located. In which state? Tell me. I will not write the answer. Because in NDA or in CDS, they can ask about national parks and wildlife sanctuaries also. Okay. UP. Okay, the largest part of the northern plains is formed with the older alluvium. Here you have older alluvium soil. Lies above the floodplains of the rivers and represent. Older is called what? bhangar, like this. And newer is called as khadar. And kankar is what? They are calciferous stones. Calciferous deposits. These are like this only, stones type structure. These are called kankar. In Hindi, kankar is called as stone, right? And younger deposits are called as the khadar. This is the khadar. This is khadar. Okay. And this is bhangar. I have explained it earlier also, and I am telling you that question will be asked on this, because number of times they have asked about the kankar also, and about this Dudhwa National Park of Uttar Pradesh. Okay. So I will ask you one question after the start of the Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. So I'm done with the plains. The important questions from the plains are covered. Now that the plateau. Okay. So you know about the Deccan Plateau, but you don't know about the Malwa Plateau. Okay. Malwa Plateau is important. Malwa Plateau is somewhere near UP. Somewhere near Madhya Pradesh. Okay. So Malwa Plateau is very, very important, because most of the time people know about the Chota Nagpur Plateau. They know about the Bundelkhand. They know about the Deccan Plateau, but they don't know about the Central Highlands or the Malwa Plateau. Okay. And we know about Deccan Plateau and how it is formed. So I will not be talking about the Deccan Plateau. I will skip that. And we'll come to the Eastern and Western Ghats. The question will be asked on that. Okay. So you have the Eastern Ghats here, and you have Western Ghats here. So you can see from the diagram that I have given the gaps in the Eastern Ghat. Right? These are Western Ghats. Okay. My voice is audible to you? Let me know. Yes. So the question which is expected is that, and one more conclusion. Okay. I'm writing one thing, that from south or from north towards the south, the height of Western Ghats increases. The height of Western Ghats increases from north to the south. So you have the highest range as Anai Mudi, which is 2695 meter. This is the highest mountain peak of what? Of the Western Ghats. Here, the name is little bit hard, and the height is also lesser than. So in terms of height also, Western Ghats are higher. Height of Western Ghats is greater than Eastern Ghat. Okay, remember that. And Western Ghats are more continuous. Western Ghats are most. Second thing is continuous. These are discontinuous. This type of question can be asked from the bench. And you know what type of soil is there? I will also talk about soil from here only. so that it will be covered. Look, here you have, in this plain area, you have alluvial soil, right? Here, in this area, you have black soil, right? You have Deccan black soil for cotton, right? This is black soil, black cotton soil. And in this area, you have laterite type of soil, right? Laterite type of soil. Laterite type, because of leaching, right? You know what I'm talking? I'm talking about the soils. I will write so that both the topics will be simultaneously covered. Here you have the the alluvial soil. Here you have the black cotton soil or regur. Regur actually is it Telugu word, okay? Right? And this is the laterite soil because of leaching. And this is not fertile, okay? This is not fertile. Remember that. So you can look at the diagram, you will cover 2-3 things. So I have covered mostly all the things. Now, Mahendragiri in the Eastern Ghats, okay? Mahendragiri in Eastern Ghats is the highest mountain range, okay? 1501 meter. So this is the highest mountain peak of the Eastern Ghats, and Anaimudi is of the Western Ghats. So I have covered that also. Okay. Just a minute. You know about this river, Luni River, which is the, what we can say, is the only river in the desert area. So that is, and we have discussed about what are Barkhans and all. So so this line is important. The Chilika Lake is the largest saltwater lake in India. Okay, the Chilka Lake is the largest saltwater lake in India. This question can be asked. So you need to study about this saltwater lake. Then you need to study about the freshwater lake. Freshwater lake. You need to study about the crater lake. Right? So this is how you will study. And the question can be asked, is that Chilka Lake situated in which river? So tell me, on which river Chilika Lake, which is the largest saltwater lake in India, which is situated in which of the river? Just type the message. And I think question can be asked on Lakshadweep also, because you know there is lot of cry over the Maldives Daya River, Mahanadi River. Okay, one of the tributary. So there is a lot of issue over the remark of Maldivian ministers over the Prime Minister of India. So there is a lot of debate over the passengers and the tourists to not to go to the Maldives. So earlier, a lot of visitors used to go to the Maldives Islands. Now Indian government is promoting the Lakshadweep. So this time the question can be on the Lakshadweep. So you need to study about Lakshadweep and coral polyps, right? and you need to study about the coral reefs. Study about this coral reefs and Lakshadweep Island, because Indian government is from last 2 days is promoting Lakshadweep. Okay, so study about this Lakshadweep Island and what are the favorable conditions for corals. Like they need at least 20 to 25 degree 22 to 25 degrees Celsius of temperature, right? They need a warm water, etc. Not too hot, not too cold, and they grow around the equatorial region, right? When they die, they shed off the color and they become white, transparent, parallel channels. So you need to study about that. This time question can be asked, because here they are talking about the corals, right? But I will not go much into details. You can study about the PT Islands, okay? PT Islands, which are in Lakshadweep. Okay. Because PT Islands has the only bird sanctuary. Bird sanctuary is there. So that type of question can also be asked. That which island of the Lakshadweep has the bird sanctuary? So that is the PT Island. And you know that the Barrel Islands are the only, it has only active volcano. So you need to study about that also. We have covered this. I will jump to the next chapter, that is the drainage. Okay. So we'll start discussing about the Indus River systems directly. We'll skip certain things. Indus River system. Okay. We'll cut everything from here and we'll paste here so that we can in detail explain. Okay. So now look at here the Indus River system. Okay. The Indus River system. The river Indus rises in Tibet near Lake Mansarovar. So Indus rises in the Mansarovar Lake. Following west, it enters India in the Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir. It forms a Ichusku Gorge in the part. You know about Gorge and Canyon. Yeah, that is the vertical erosion of the river. This happens due to the vertical erosion of the river. Okay. Several tributaries, the Zanskar, Nubra, Shlok, and Hunza join it. So remember the name like Zanskar, Zaskar, the Nubra, Shok, and Hunza. These are the tributaries. Okay. Even if you don't remember the names, all okay, but at least remember this name, Nubra. So that name you need to understand, Nubra. Indus flows through the Baltistan and Gilgit and emerges from the mountain at Attock. The Satluj, the Bias, and the Ravi in Chenab and the Jhelum join together to enter the Indus near Mithankot in Pakistan. So all the rivers join together in the Mithankot in the Indus. I don't know the name of the glacier, but it is somewhere near the Mansarovar. Mansarovar is one of the famous lake in the Tibet, and it has been mentioned in many ancient texts. Even Kalidasa, when he wrote his book, various drama, he wrote drama books. So in that he has mentioned about the the Mansarovar and the Manas Lake also. I will put by looking, and I'll tell you from where it actually originates. Like Ganga is from Gangotri, Yamuna is from Yamunotri. So Indus, I just forget the name. So Indus has a very gentle slope with a total length of 2,900 kilometers. It's one of the longest and not the longest, okay, because Nile is the longest and Amazon is the largest, but Indus is also not less, okay. So that was a bit about Indus, and you need to study about Indus water treaty also. India can only use, okay, India can only use only 20% of the total water carried by Indus water system or Indus river system. This water is used for irrigation. Remember that according to treaty which is signed between India and Pakistan, only 20% of the water of the Indus can be used by the India. Ganga, the headquarter of Ganga is called as, the headwaters of the Ganga is called as Bhagirathi, no? Bhagirathi. So important, remember that. From the Gangotri glacier. Okay. Look at this image. We studied about, look from here, Indus originated. I will mark afterwards. Look from here. So it started flowing. It almost take the U-turn. Okay. And you have Ganga river. Like this flowing. Look at the Ganga river. This is how it flows. And this is how the Indus flows. Remember that. Okay. And this is how the Brahmaputra flows. Okay. So now you can see clearly how rivers flow. Okay. We are talking about the Ganga. So Ganga is joined by many tributaries from the Himalaya. You know about Yamuna and Ghagar, etc. Yamuna, Ghagra, Gandak, and Kosi. Okay. We will not talk about much that. Then we'll jump to the important system, that is important water river system, the Brahmaputra. So the Brahmaputra rises in the Tibet in the east of Mansarovar Lake. Again Mansarovar, because Indus was also there from the Mansarovar Lake, right? So Brahmaputra is also from the Mansarovar Lake, and that is in the Tibet. It flows eastward parallel to the Himalayas. On reaching the Namcha Barwa, you know what is Namcha Barwa? These are the Himalayan peaks, okay? Namcha Barwa and Kanchenjunga, K2, right? K2 is also called as Mount Austin, okay? So remember that. And it takes the U-turn. You can see there, it almost takes the U-turn. We are talking about the Brahmaputra, right? And the various tributaries like uh, Dibang, Lohit. These two rivers are the tributaries of the Brahmaputra, which can be asked, Dibang and Lohit. Brahmaputra is known as the Sangpo in Tibet and Jamuna in Bangladesh. Not Yamuna, okay? It's Jamuna. There is difference between Yamuna and Jamuna. Okay. So now we have covered the perennial rivers. We will jump to the peninsula. I will ask you one question. You know about what is peninsula? When you have water from three sides, it is called as peninsula. But tell me, when you have the water from three sides, what you when you have land from three sides, what you will call? Let us say, and this is water, and this is land. This is also land. This is also land. So if you have water from one side and land from three sides, so what you will call? Did you did, did you understand my question? This is called as peninsula, right? Right, because you have water from three sides and land from one side. So what if I do opposite? If I have the land from three sides and water from this side. So let us say this is the water. So what you will call this type of thing? You now understood what I'm telling. So this is called as bay. I will not. This is called as the bay. And when it is much narrow, when the mouth is much narrow like this, and there is gap like this only, so it will be called as gulf. So you now know the difference between bay and gulf. Bay has a broader mouth, and gulf has a narrow mouth. This is if this is the structure, this is gulf, and if this is the structure, so it will be the bay. Okay, so that is the difference between bay, gulf, and peninsula. Let us start discussing about the Narmada. So you know about Narmada, right? Narmada rises in the Amarkantak Hills. Rises in the Amarkantak Hills in Madhya Pradesh. It flows toward the west in the Rift Valley. Okay, and it creates various picturesque locations which you can visit. The marble rocks near Jabalpur. Okay, the marble rocks near Jabalpur, where Narmada flows through the deep gorge called as Dhuadar Falls. Remember this waterfall, Dhuadar. So on YouTube, if you just search the Dhuadar waterfall, you will get the waterfall which is near Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, on the question can be asked, Dhuadar waterfall is in which river? It is in the Narmada. Now Tapi rises in the Satpura range. Okay, Narmada was in Amarkantak. Tapi is in the Satpura. Okay, it also flows through the Rift Valley like Narmada. Now Godavari. Godavari is the largest peninsular river near the Trambakeshwar. Trambakeshwar is in Nashik. Okay. Then Godavari is joined by various tributaries like Purna, Varda, Pranahita, Manjra, Vainaganga, Painaganga. These are the tributaries. So question can be asked. Consider the following statements. Purna, Varda, Pranahita, Manjra, Vainaganga, Painaganga are the tributaries of which of the river? So these, whenever you will see such kind of names, these are the tributaries of what? These are tributaries of Godavari, and which is also called as Dakshin Ganga. Okay, Dakshin Ganga. Which river is known as Dakshin Ganga? Godavari is known as Dakshin Ganga. And Mahanadi, like I talked about the Chilika Lake. So Chilika is on the basins of and the delta of the Mahanadi. Okay, Krishna near the Mahabaleshwar. Mahabaleshwar is also again it's near the Pune. It's one of the location. I mean, 140 kilometers away. So Krishna has the Tungabhadra and the Koina, Ghataprabha, Musi, and Bhima are some of its tributaries. So Tungabhadra, Koyna, and the Ghataprabha and Musi, Bhima. These are the tributaries of what? Krishna river. So these all rivers like Tungabhadra and Krishna rivers, Tungabhadra and Krishna rivers form a doab when you will study about the Vijayanagara Empire. Vijayanagara Empire. So it's one of the famous empires of Karnataka. So it was between the Tungabhadra river and the Krishna river. Krishna and Tungabhadra. Remember that. It will end soon. Just wait. So just we are on the last page. We will end afterwards. Okay. So I will just end the stream and we'll talk